Hi. I apologize in advance if I can't speak English for the rest of the talk. Or if I will speak in Tagalog because I am more efficient, or I talk like a regular guy. So I apologize in advance. So this is my game, Kill the Plumber. So it's actually not still post-mortem because I still have plans for the game. So we have been greenlit on Steam, and then we're on currently Kickstarter. So we also, so my talk will be about that and more, like the casual connect, the YouTubers, and its effect in the price, and Apple's rejection, Greenlight and Kickstarter, and what else? Okay, next. So before I begin, I should start how I made the game. Okay, or why do I make games? So, in Tagalog, papansin kasi ako yan. So, I crave attention. More than money, siguro. No? Kasi minsan, sometimes I even spend more than I can actually earn. So, like, I now teach in a university in Pampanga. I even want to spend $50 for the sound effects just so we can get their game to be as polished as possible, because I want to get that game, my students' game, to join the IGF China. So that's how I make games. So it's directly reverse of what EB is, because I can understand it, because it's they're a company, right? They have to feed their employees. I only have to feed myself. Okay. So anyway, this is a quote I recently read from Facebook page. So I frequent the Facebook a lot. That's what I do every day. Facebook. So on Facebook I saw this man. He died. He's an ad executive. So in his blog, he said that creative people are being scammed or harassed, but it's about the commercial or the advertising industry. Anyway, he left a message. Why creative people make games? Why creative people produce products? So he said, truly creative people tend not to be motivated by money. That's why so few of us have any, including me. The riches we crave are acknowledgement and appreciation of the ideas that we have and the things that we make. Like this one. How much did I spend from going from Pampanga to here, right? I could just work on Facebook again. I could just see what my friends are up to, or just play games or sleep, right? But instead, even if the Iglesia ni Cristo are having their rally, I even brave through the traffic. Okay? So why? Do I earn from this? No. That's what people are asking. Do you earn from conventions? Sometimes, but sometimes it's just free lodging, or sometimes nothing. Just not even a certificate. But if I have a certificate, I just display them on my wall, and then I feel proud. So that's actually what I crave. Not even not money, of course. We all want money, but I don't know if I really want money. I think I should have spent making free to play. Or I wouldn't be even. I wouldn't be even. So that's okay. So my game. This is my game. So the game is a platformer where you place the enemy. This is not actually my idea. This is his idea. So you should blame him if you have any problem with the game. Okay. So next, I actually have evidence. Okay. So if somebody wants to complain, if anybody wants to complain, let's file a complaint to the Russian guy in America. I will join you to America. You will just pay for my airfare. I already have visa, so it's okay. Anyway, so he said there. So the game started. It started when I withdrew from Facebook, again Facebook. On January, I deactivated my Facebook because I was not being productive. in December, my father died, and I was left alone in the Philippines by myself, no other relatives. So all the money needed to pay for the burial, I had to pay. So I didn't even have time to cry. So that my only concern was how to get 100,000 pesos, because my father died in some serious brutal way that I need to pay 50,000 for the coffin alone. So and then I used up my savings. Okay, so indie life is not all ups, only downs. So at that time I was not producing any. And then another problem is my publisher delayed the payment. So that's another thing you do not know. They delay payments. It's not their fault. It's their accountants, because their accountant's job is to delay as much possible of the outgoing cash. So instead of being delayed for 3 months, they said they will pay me for January. So January 2015. So I have to come up with money during December. But good thing my father died, so I said my father died and I need money, and then they sent the money. Okay, next. So by January, I deactivated my Facebook and make a game. And make games, just like a factory, make games. So, and then came a time that my brain won't function anymore. So I have to ask somebody to think for me. And then I post on FGL.com that if they want to collaborate, they can give me their ideas. So, Iskandar Aminov is a professional artist from USA. He said he has these notes. So one of his notes is, so you are the first enemy of platformer game like Mario. At the start, you're killed very easily and really dumb. But as you keep going, you get better by spending points to get better attributes. Eventually, you become a boss and the player gets frustrated. Forcing the player to quit the game makes you win. Similar to there is only one level game. So there are other more games like the paddle, the breakout clone, or where you play as where you upgrade the player to buy double jump or run faster, or basically a free-to-play platformer. So that's what he said to me. I think he wants a game that is a platformer. So I like the idea of a Mario game where you play as the enemies. So we decided to expand on the game, because I'm not contented in making this one level that plays over and over. So my game is like a pretentious game where you play as different enemies, where the controls changes and the goals changes. So for example, the black, he dash forward or downward or to any direction, and then you have a bomb, and then one of them throws an axe. And then you can even play as the boss. So it is very hard to come up with the game core idea with that. It took me 2 weeks to come up with the design. So my partner, the artist, sent me this link on Kotaku, Super Mario's 4-step level design, and then that's how I came up with 4 levels for each enemies. 1, you introduce the enemy and the controls. 2nd, you expand on that. 3rd, you add a twist like a timer or Mario throws fireball. And then 4th, final challenge that is harder to beat. And then I added bonus levels if you want more levels to play with that enemy. Okay, so this one, the YouTubers, the effect. Okay. So we knew the game was good. We released the game, it got featured on Newgrounds, Congregate, and Game Show. And then we also saw a bunch of YouTubers play the game. Like one has 7 million subscribers, and then others have 5, 5 million, 2 million subscribers, and they have lots of views. So one of the YouTube plays of that Kill the Plumber is around 1.1 million now. The funny thing is, I didn't contact them. And those I contacted never played the game. Yeah. Even in pretentious game. Jacksepticeye, I played the game. So it now has a combined 2.5 million views. And then it converted to sales. But I never contacted Jacksepticeye. I contacted PewDiePie, but he didn't play the game. But I was very happy to see my icon on his iPad. I even took a screenshot of that. That I posted a video where he has pretentious game on iPad. But I think maybe they made a video, but it was not good enough. So I said conversion, right? So how does YouTube plays convert? Okay, I will tell the ones where it's more significant, like Velocibox. If you know Velocibox from Indonesia or Singapore, PewDiePie covered this game, and it converted to 50,000 downloads on Steam. And then another one, Tyler NG, he said PewDiePie covered his game, and it converted like a lot higher views. So it's like 686,000 views on. It's a flash game, so but on game you get revenue share. So he gets a lot of money from the revenue share because he made 680,000 views from PewDiePie. Next. So these are all the acknowledgement of the game. Just like I told you, I crave attention, or papansin kasi talaga ako. This is victory for me. I even got a video front page on 9gag. So that's better than millions of downloads. Actually, not. I still want money. Anyway, also that K is Kotaku, so that's another achievement for me. My first game to get people of Kotaku. And then I also crave seeing people enjoying my game. So this one I got her laughing because the ending also has a twist. And a lot of people played the game and finished the game on the spot on Casual Connect and even the mobile version. And Boomsack's employees even picked my game as first choice for their top 5 games. And it got nominated for most innovative game. Next. Yeah, just like what I said. Next. Also, we got a preview hands-on on AppSpy. This one is my work. I contacted AppSpy on YouTube. So I tried all methods: Twitter, YouTube, email, and the YouTube comment I think is the only one that worked. And then they said what do I need to? They asked me what do I need to. I asked them what do I need to send them a version to test play. So I just said I have an IPA or test flight, and then they just said that they can do test flight. And then after a week they had a video. Even IGN asked me, but I don't know what happened to the video. Maybe the video they started like me or something. But I think that's how they contact developers. They just ask for a test flight build, and then if they enjoy the game, they will publish the video. But how do I actually market my game? Touch Arcade 4. So this one I got 12,000 views and 200 messages. So I think this is the one that's very effective. Pocket Gamer gets its news from this website, and then if you have Pocket Gamer or any other top sites that cover your game, they will all follow. What's interesting is some of the non-English sites has many viewers, has many followers, so they will also help you achieve your desired numbers. So I even have this is about Apple's rejection. So again, I crave attention, right? So when Apple rejected me, I felt on the day that I knew Apple rejected me on the App Store, it felt like I was a woman pregnant with her boyfriend. So I do not know what to do. I did not tell anybody, only me. So only I did not tell the artist that we got rejected because I read that you can send your appeal. So only I had that problem on that day. I didn't even tell my wife. So yeah, similar to a pregnant teenager. But eventually I told my artist, and then he expected it. So he's the father. No, I mean, he expected that we will get rejected. And me too, actually. So it's not actually very hard to admit. But what's hard for us is seeing these crappy games or seeing these obvious rip-offs of games on the App Store being approved. That's what we are against. And Rami Ismail of Plumber even tweeted in support to us that their game got cloned with their Radical Ninja, Radical Fishing, they got cloned, but our game gets rejected. So that's what we are fighting for. And then again, that's their company. So maybe they are just hiring a company to review the games. And then, but then it favors us because we got Mashable, we got The Guardian, we got what else? Pocket Gamer, Skill, and many other websites. Nintendo Live covered the game. Next. But so after the problem, you will be expecting that that you can convert this to a good thing, right? But this one we didn't make much. Let's anyway, if you can see it, it's only 400 downloads. We only got 400 downloads for over a month. We didn't convert those press coverage. I do not know why. Even if I check the user acquisition tab, it says that we have 300 views per day, but only 5 or 10 pays for the game. So I do not know how to convert those views of the Google Play. And we have like 50 views from third-party referrals, or those are maybe links from the press. So we only made $1,200 from the game. So it's bad in EB's comparison. Very bad. Because it's really hard to earn from premium game. Yeah. Only 100 to $500. But then it's not the end. We still have Steam. So we tried Steam Greenlight, and then we got Greenlit in just 14 days. We got Greenlit in just a short period of time because of Kotaku and Pocket Gamer covered the game. Also, if those two guys covered your game, expect the non-English websites will copy, because all press just copy their content anyway. Even the headlines. So that's how they get paid. They scrape the internet for news. And then so I got more backlinks to the Steam Greenlight, and then we got more votes, and then so we got to the top 100 really fast, and then we just waited for the announcement of Steam for the Greenlight. Next. So we got Greenlit in 2 weeks. If you want to know more of the details of how we did it, Standard Artist actually took care of everything. So he made the page. So I was in charge of the technical, the release version, and he was in charge of the media. The presentation. So I was in charge in marketing, in contacting the press. So if you want to learn more, you can go to 2dgamearttutorials.blogspot.com, and he has an afterthought of how we made the game, how we got Greenlit. Next. So now Kickstarter. So now we also failed because according to the latest count, we only got $350 pledge. But then again, we have somebody backing us to fund the game actually. So we actually have a special price tire there where it's $6,000. So they will help us to release the game. So kind of like a publisher, but except more on funding, more on maybe acceleration or maybe getting the things done to get the game out. And then I don't know. We actually did not talk about the revenue share. We will get 100% revenue. Maybe he was just very kind that he's giving us money. Actually, he was the sponsor of the Flash game, of the Flash version. So maybe he got enough money from those Flash games that he decides to support us and back us on Kickstarter. That's it. It's still not, there's no end because I am still continuing to game. Yes.
Questions? Does anyone have a question for Barry? Huh? Anyone? Yes. What are your plans for the iOS version? Because it didn't get released yet.
My plans for the iOS version is reskin the game. On the Steam, we plan on playing safe. We will reskin the plumber, we will redo the pipes. Actually, we have already made the pipes white. And then maybe try to redo the sound effects because the pause button sound effect sounds too much like the Mario game. So we will play safe this time and then try again to re-upload on Apple with a different name. So maybe like Super Kill the Plumber on iOS. So maybe and hopefully
they won't notice.
Yeah.
So this is something new.
And hopefully we get to be assigned a dumb reviewer who approves the tons of Flappy Bird clones and tons of rip-off games. Even Peppa Pig. I was searching for a Peppa Pig game for my kid. I have budget to buy like $10, but all the result of Peppa Pig games, they're not official. You can see that it's very crappy made, and all of them have different company names. So and even names, first name and surname. So this is impossible that it's official.
Yes. Oh no.
I just want to clear my interest. What would be your advice to any of these guys or anybody who wants to get into independent game development? Aside from dapat may pera ka.
Yeah, aside from dapat may pera or you have budget because it's very unstable. Yeah, I told you about the delayed payment from my publisher, right? And I have stopped production for 3 months. So besides that, you can be creative as much as you want, but like Iggy said, learn from the developer that Iggy mentioned. Learn from the top weekly, or in our case, in Flash games, we look at the front page games. We look at the recent sales on this website, fgl.com. What makes the most money or what makes the most views, and then we try to replicate that game. Or actually, you can make your own game, but you have to consider what makes those games great. So in Kill the Plumber, I have 3-star system. I have timer for speedruns. I have bonus levels. So you still have to consider those designs to put in your game. So you'll have replayable, and then you have to polish your game. I think that's the number one recommendation I can give. Give your game polish, because some of the games, they do not really have that oomph factor on their game. It feels bland. Even not more than just screen shake. All the effects, all the transition you have to put in your game. So, like Inge said, you need to have all these tick marks on your game. So what else?
Yeah, okay. Kevin. Camera.
So I'm super curious. So you're saying that you got the 200 or 300 downloads on the paid downloads, right? It seems like your game is well received, kind of visually and stuff. I'm wondering, would you consider taking your game to somebody like the previous talk, the Play Labs, if they were sort of, if they felt that your game was good and promising, and they were able to provide you with the acquisitions that you need for it to be successful financially, is that something you consider? Is it something you considered? What are your thoughts on that?
I think what I had in Kill the Plumber is another set of learnings. So I have always been the almost successful guy. So I don't know if I will always be the almost successful. So in terms of money, right, I will never have thousands of dollars per day. But maybe that's what pushes me to make more games. But then, if I have to redo the game, just like Iggy advised, people already know the game is paid, and actually there are only 400 downloads. So I can actually ignore them, those 400, and release as free. But I feel like I wanna try with Steam this time, because on Steam you can release the game for free. Like for example, Pretentious game was released for $5 on Steam, and we still get sales from the game, like per month $700 something, or during the first time $1,000 per month. But that's for my share. So I think for me, since I have nobody to pay for, all of those $1,000 go to my bank. Wow. I mean, I have no one to share. No, because it's Pretentious game is just a square, right? I don't. The music is just royalty free. So I think Steam can get still one person get their living allowance for just one game, but still, even if the game is free, we're still selling. So I think Steam is a good start if you want to sell your games for premium. For mobile, I'm not very confident with mobile.
It's fun. I have a question. You mentioned that you're a guy, almost successful guy. But in my book, you are one of the most successful in terms of in terms of downloads, in terms of press. He is one of the pinakilala na sa indie development scene. And my question is, out of all the ones that you've made, like yung Kill the Plumber and yung Pretentious and all the previous ones, which one of those are the most successful? Because this one, Kill the Plumber, had lots of press. Pretentious game was featured sa Steam, and which of the two can you consider is the most?
Still Pretentious game, because
really?
it still gives me money monthly.
Still?
Yeah. Just like what I said, during the past months, I was receiving this amount of dollars from Pretentious game. So actually, I don't have to work, but I just want to make more games. I think I crave for the press. I crave for the awards or even nominations, like Miss Group Picks got nominated last year in Most Promising Game, and then Kill the Plumber Most Innovative Game. So I think Pretentious game is still the most successful, even in press, because it was featured in Indie Game Showcase. Indie Game Showcase. Yeah. So,
Ah, yung pala yun.
oo, nung App Store.
Yes, kasi,
Yeah. App Store.
yeah, you can open it there. Yeah.
So, App Store. So anyway, there is a curator in App Store. They have these 15 best runners, 15 most weird games, and then one time they have this indie game showcase. So one of those games that they featured is a pretentious game. So the other games featured are Black, Trees, Monument Valley, Thomas Was Alone, Pretentious Game, and then the Duet. So just getting aligned with all those games, that feels victory for me. So those are the games. So Thomas Was Alone, that one's popular, the girl.
Trees.
Ah?
Yung trees.
Yung
Monument Valley.
Trees.
Monument Valley. Oh, this one.
Yung gumawa ng ano. Anyway, that still
Okay. Transistor.
Transistor. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's still it brings the money and it brings the fame.
Okay. Any questions? Any more questions? Mga I know there are students out there. Meron ba? Mga students? Yeah, baka may mga questions kayo. Do you have anything that you want to ask? Let's say, anything like, how make up, something like that.
Advice to students.
Huh?
Advice.
He has an advice to students.
My advice to students and those who want to make games. Learn from international success. Learn from international games. Don't try to show your games to others because they will just say, that's a good game, that's great, keep it up. They will just say, they don't want to hurt your feelings. Like, upload your game on Congregate and get the harshest remarks like, you shouldn't think, are you thinking? You shouldn't be a game developer. Stop making games. That's when you will learn how to make games. If you show your games to your friends, all of them will just, or if you show your games to, you can show your games to your friends, you can show your games here, but don't stop here. Learn from the international community, or learn from the players. So that's my advice. Don't, I know some of the people are getting fed with this idea that their game is enough, that their game is enough to win this local award, their game is enough to get published by this local company, but it's not enough internationally. I think this is also the same problem why we don't get Oscars. I don't know if we got Oscar awards for movies. We only compete locally, and we even have this world class. Why can't we always produce world class at the very start? Our competition is world class. We're not competing against each other. That's it. So my advice to students, get exposed. Internet is just there. Show your game out. Release.
So, question.
Sir, do you have a shortcut to the process on how you make the game?
Yes.
From start to finish?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the steps?
I will start from the beginning. I make game based on my ability. So when I started, I only know how to click buttons. So I made point and click adventure game. And then I get to learn how to make platformer. So I made that one. And then I learned how to make physics. And then even those 3-star system, I don't even know how to make them before. I have to learn how to create those saving system for scores. And then if you compile all your learnings, just try to learn one new feature for your game every time you make a game. I think there's no shortcut, but if you try to make many games, you will try to find shortcut that works for you. So for me, I have a library of features. So if I need a platformer, I just copy and paste. If I need a moving sliding block, I just copy paste this code. If I need three-star system or anything, or the upgrades or the buttons, I just copy and paste. So if you have a set of library, you can make your own shortcuts. You can make your own system to create your game faster. Any more? Okay. Introduce the next. Yeah.
That's okay. Is that all? No more questions? You have? Go ahead.
Well, I just want to expound a little bit on what Bari was talking about, the polish. That's actually a very good point. And that's also one of the things that we were also looking forward to, looking for games. Kasi we're very sympathetic to the independent game developer because again, we also used to be an indie developer. And one of the things that we always worked on when we were creating our initial games was the polish, sabi nga ni Bari. It's very important that you take a look at your game, even the minutest detail, parang pinag-isipan. You put thought into that little thing. Whether it's the little animation of your character, or how a button would react if you click on it, a little bit of swaying motion in your background environment, all those little things, when you put it together, really showcases how well polished, well thought out your game is. And I agree with Barry, it's a very important component when you're creating a game. You don't just put everything together and hope it works. If your character is jumping, okay na yun. There has to be a little bit more thought put into it. And I think that's a very important component when you're also putting your game together. That kind of polish, the full thought process that goes behind putting your game together. So yun lang, I just wanted to add that because it's a very important thing. And I think that's a very good point that he pointed out.
Expand ko pa konti. Yung full thought, yung meron talaga yung halimbawa sa game, sa app ni Terry, nakita ko daw yung mga effects, yung mga transition na pag pinindot ko, dinrag ko yung letter do sa hollow letter, mag-fit na agad. Ang usually gagawin ng mga developer, pag pinitawan ko, doon pa lang mag-fit. Or minsan, kailangan saktong-sakto do sa letter. Pero yung ginawa niya, pag malapit na, mag-fit na agad. So yun, nararamdaman ng player yan. Or yung mga simpleng mag-scale X as yung scaling to 0 and then pops out the scale to bigger, or the buttons, the reaction of the buttons. People will recognize it's the feeling actually. It's visual, it's audio, may audio, may effects, but yung feeling dapat merong feeling yung game nyo. Weird no, pero may feels dapat yung game nyo. Merong hindi ma-explain Sabi nga nila, diba, sa mga international talks, may art of screen shape, yung mga ganun. Meron talaga siyang art
I guess that's all.